right, everyone. So I'm going to give you my game plan here for the week ahead, and we're going to dive right into the charts. I'll go over my continuation scan, which you could see right here. And we'll also talk about some of the highlights from the past week to help you kind of understand context. So for those of you who have maybe been out for a few days or missed the week, for the most part, last week was slow, but we had decent base hits. There were decent base hit opportunities pretty much every single day. Overall, I would say the market the last week, a sort of hot scale of like 0 to 10, we were like fives. It was like 5 6s. I mean, yeah, base hits. I had a couple days where I came like right up to the daily goal, 5,000, which is terrific. But, there were also some days, Thursday and Friday, Thursday especially, that was just super slow. And then Friday, things kind of rolled over. So right now, am I having days where I'm blowing it out of the water? No, not yet. Not yet. But one of the things that for me is really important, and I said this in my game plan for last week, is look, this is the first week of the new month. Now, I know some of you guys, maybe you missed last week's game plan, but you've already gone red. It's like, oh my gosh, here we are, first week of the month, and I'm already red. Okay, I know how that feels. I've had that happen to me too. It's not fun to start the week in the red or start the month in the red. But listen, if this is where you're at, it's where you're at. So let's make a game plan here. If you're in the red, let's stop the bleeding first and foremost. So what are you doing right now that's not working? And what are you doing now that's working? So spend some time today looking at your metrics from the last week, export them. You can import them. I use TraderView. I like using TraderView. And look, I mean, use whatever you want. I'm not getting paid to say I like TraderView. I've been using them for like 9 years. In fact, I think I'll say I think there's probably other platforms out there that might be better. But the thing here is that for me, this now has my data from 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. You've got 8 years of data in here. So, it just... Yeah, you can use this. So it just would be ridiculous for me to try to switch to a different platform. So nonetheless, the whole idea is export your trades, import them to somewhere so you can analyze your data. So you can look at the trades collectively and ask yourself, kind of that question. What am I doing right now that's working? What is not working? By the way, I have a few distractions here. You want some more markers? Okay. All right. Now, we've gone through... Now, listen, let me just remember. Those are the only markers you can use on that. I have lost so many whiteboards to a Sharpie. I can't even. Anyways, so yeah, I would say right now, if you're in a place where you went red at the beginning of April, and I get it because it's happened to me before, and I screwed up in March and dug myself a hole. What I would say is first, stop the bleeding and ask yourself what's working. And I'll tell you what's working really well for me each day is starting the day with small size. Now, interestingly, someone said, Ross, I don't understand why you would do that. If for instance, that your average winners are 15 cents a share, just for instance, your average losers are 10 cents a share, something like that, and your accuracy is 68%, just take the same size on every single trade, just like that. And I said, I hear that. And that makes a lot of sense. However, in reality, when I start each day, I don't know what the price action is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be a day where the market is really strong or if it's a day where the market's going to be a little colder. And if it's a day where the market is cold, then what's happened to me is sometimes in those first 3 trades, I end up going down, $3,000-$4,000. And all of a sudden it's like, yikes, I'm sitting with a pretty big loss. So by starting with small size, I can break the ice. I can start to get comfortable and I can really get a feel for like, what's the price action today? And, some of this is also a little bit of legacy stuff, like me psychologically, learning to trade during a period when I was broke, where I couldn't afford to lose it all. And so anytime I lose, even now, even after having made all this money trading, I still have this sense of like the sky is falling. It feels awful for me. It's been hard for me to unwind that relationship because of the way it began. You sort of your neural pathways learn like that's the way to go. Like I have a loss and now I have to tell myself I'm terrible. I'm oh my God, what's going to happen? And I feel this big emotional reaction. And many of you may feel that way as well because you're beginner traders, and I get it. So I think this is one of the things that's really nice about being part of the community is at Warrior Trading especially, but certainly here on YouTube, is that working with me, a mentor who not only really knows what it's like to struggle to learn how to trade, but this didn't come naturally to me. So like I still have a lot of those same feelings that you may have even today. So like it's not like I found success and then started just elevated to a level that's like not relatable to anyone. I'm still for the most part trading on the same level as you guys, maybe a little bit more aggressively at times, but anyways. So right now I would say try starting with small size each day, breaking the ice. And if you can start to like get in the groove and we've got a stock that's trading nicely, then like, okay, this is a day to lean in. Let's get aggressive. And if it's not happening, then don't increase size, right? Don't increase size until you cross that first threshold, whatever it is. I really think that that's worth a try, even if it's just for a week. And if you're red last week, then why don't you try it just for this week ahead? Just do it for 5 days. See how you feel. And then report back next week. I think you're going to be surprised. If we look at my P&L here for the last 90 days or last 60 days, I guess this is, as you know, I had this nice rally, a little bit of a drop here, rallied back up, a couple more red days, and then here kind of coming back up. So right now I'm kind of right back. Actually, my account as of, I guess, Friday was at all-time highs, which is nice. So not 187,000 is not my all-time profit, of course, you know that. Or at least I think you do for those of you who've been tuning in for a long time. But this is all-time highs in the last 60 days. And then if we just, I don't know, we zoom out further, we zoomed out to 365 days or whatever, you would see that this is also just all-time highs. So that's good. But let me jump back here to so yeah, there's 12.6 million gross profit. So if we look at April. So 5 days in, finished up 14,000 for the week. That's a solid week. Again, not home runs any particular day, but base hit, base hit, base hit. Didn't get much going on Thursday. I went into the red, rallied back, finished in the green. But if we look at the P&L, I closed at my high. It was just not really happening. It was a tough day. But Friday was actually my worst day of the whole week. I was up 4, gave back 1,000, chopped around here, and then gave back like $2,000 in one trade. But as I said in my recap on Friday, this is an opportunity for me to exercise discipline, which I did. I didn't take any more trades into the afternoon. I just called it and walked away. However, on Friday, MDIA was the big mover. Now, is this going to be a continuation setup for tomorrow or for Monday? I don't think so. I think it has pulled back too much. It was very annoying for me to watch this squeeze up through 550 after I had gotten stopped out of it. And yet, so this was where I got stopped out right here and took that like $2,000 loss. It rallied back up and I didn't trade it in here, but look at that rejection from 5 all the way back down to 420. That was really nasty. And then it rips and rallies back up to 620. Holy smokes, that'll really give you some FOMO. Up to 7, and then it just kind of died out, rolled over, and that was it. So I feel like I could have definitely seen myself, if I allowed myself to keep trading. I was at 850 right here on Friday. If I had let myself keep trading, I think I probably would have jumped into this and gotten flushed again and been down a couple thousand. Maybe I would have gotten in again and made money, but it would have been emotional and it wouldn't have been a good idea. So these rejections were pretty nasty. I don't know. It's unfortunate when you see that, but it just is what it is. I think the warning sign on this was that it had really made the move at 4 a.m. and sold off so much. This was, I don't know. It was just already showing some weakness early. So anyways, MDIA, that was our big move on Friday. I didn't trade it very well, but I don't think that's going to be a continuation setup for the week ahead. The continuation scanner here is looking for stocks that have had the biggest range in the last 2 weeks. And it's just looking at the biggest range. So it's kind of casting a wide net, which gives us the opportunity just to, glance at each one of the stocks and see what it looks like. Here you could see Acor is at the bottom of the range. Could it be a reversal trade? It certainly could be, but it's a little too cheap for me. AVTX. Now this one, is kind of interesting. it feels like it wants to go, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. The thing with AVTX is that, it had made a pretty big move about, gosh, it was like a week ago when it squeezed up to 34 here and then dropped back down. So I feel like we could see a rally on this. It's kind of finding support around the 9 moving average. It needs a catalyst. And the main issue with this one is that the price is just a little too expensive, I think, for me. I haven't found myself managing risk as well on these higher price stocks. So that one's probably not going to be in play. NXL, a little cheaper at $2.48. Looking at the chart, though, it's been on a nice move. It's holding support, it seems like, in this area of 2. So we might see continuation on that. VVPR already had a couple days of continuation. I think we'll probably get a first daily candle to bounce. That might be on Monday. Maybe it's Tuesday or Wednesday if we have a couple more days of pullback. But I bet we'll get a bounce on it. I don't think it's going to go all the way back to the highs, but I think we'll get a little bounce. So I'll keep that on watch. JZXN, too cheap at 65 cents. EIGR, look at that drop though. EIGR, $2.30. A little too cheap as well. EFTR, big drop on this one. Again, reversal maybe, but probably not. ZPTA, reversal maybe, but probably not. These just haven't been playing out very well. I haven't done well with this. CZOO, $11.53. Had a couple halts down, it looks like, but started to rally back up. Hang on one second. Yeah, you gotta keep it plugged in. Here, you can use this one. There you go. Just be careful. Be gentle with it. I've got a little helper here today. So, VSTE. Now, by the way, some of these have very low floats. CZOO, VSTE. These are ones that if they have news, that's going to make the difference. The technical moves, we can get something out of it, but I just don't think that these are going to be as strong just on technicals alone. I think it's going to really get exciting if we get a fresh catalyst. BROG also, this one was kind of wild during the week. Later in the day on Wednesday, I think it was, put in this really big move, but it gave back the whole move. It went from 2 to 7 and back to 2. There was no catalyst for it. There was no news. Okay, so this week, for the most part, news felt like it was safer. And my routine as always is when I sit down anytime between 7 and 8 a.m., I'm looking at my top gainer scanner to see which one today is the leader, which one's the most obvious. And of course, this scan is always changing. You might have a stock that's really obvious at 7:30, 8 a.m., and that starts to fade, and another stock at 8:30 pops up with news and goes up, 150%. So it's dynamic. It's always changing. But I sit down. I try to figure out which one's obvious now. What are the sort of top 3 most obvious stocks? And are any of them giving me an opportunity? And what are their catalysts? And we did have a couple of days this week where I don't remember if it was TCBP or one of the other ones, but we had a couple of days where we had some stocks that were popping up without news. And those weren't the easiest to trade. It felt like the headwind was a little stronger on them. People were just faster to short. Buyers were a little more cautious. So, but at the same time, for what it's worth, jumping in something the second news comes out can be tricky because we've been seeing some of these pops and then big reversal like that, which I'd sort of attribute to like algo spike and then, reversal. So what I've been doing is kind of letting them pop initially, sitting on the sidelines, letting it pull back, and it either reverses completely and I don't take any trades, or it holds up. We start to see some more buyers come in, and then I kind of jump on that second leg higher. We let it pull back here, and then I'm jumping in right here for the next leg higher. So these areas here have been a little bit more rewarding than trying to jump in that very first move. But, at the same time, if we saw something that jumped from like $2 to $6, that's a big move. I would want to be probably trying to buy a micro pullback inside that move rather than just wait for the first sort of proper pullback, on a 1-minute chart. So, anyways, So yeah, TCBP, this one was from earlier in the week. Nothing really to focus on there at this point, but just, I can't remember if that was the one. Let's see. If I pull up my metrics, what day was it? This was a really nice day. Went red, but rallied back up. And by the way, just exemplifying here, first trades early in the day, trading with small size, and then starting to increase size as I'm getting myself that first $1,000 of profit, and then they're quickly moving up. That was pretty much the same on Monday. Monday, I actually got to up 6,000, gave back a little off the top, but no big deal. Sort of basically got my first 1,000, increased share size, and then was like blast off. That was exactly what I want to do. And I really do recommend it for those of you who maybe are struggling with kind of managing position sizes. Went red on the first trade to green, cushion, and then from there increased size, got aggressive. So yeah, I can't remember which day it was that we had. I think it might have been TVGN. That was the one I was trying to think of. TVGN during the week. I think this one might not have had news. Recent SPAC merger. I could be wrong. It may have had news, but in any case, it seemed that over the last week, the stocks with news, with a real headline, were the ones that felt a little bit safer. So my game plan for, hey, can you be quiet with that? So my game plan for Monday. Yeah, I'm up here. Oh my gosh. So my game plan for Monday, for the most part, is, I'm going to look at my scans probably around 6:30, 6:45. If I see something on my phone that looks good, then I'm going to, try to get to my computer here as early as I can. Now, I don't start trading before 7 these days. I wait until 7 a.m. because that's when we see more volume come in. So, starting at 7 a.m., looking for trades, looking to buy the dips, looking for these, second, third leg higher, and then just trying to first focus on getting that $1,000 of profit. Once I can get $1,000 of profit, from that point, I'm increasing my share size and scaling up.